Okay, so if you want a comparison between what I'm doing in like a home or a victory garden or a rooftop garden, the scale, I'm currently in a 300 acre field. Most gardens are in like a tenth of an acre, or maybe a big garden would be a full acre, which would be about the equivalent of a football field. So for me to go out and manually take care of that would be very tough. To either hoe the weeds or use a manual labor to control the weeds in that. So we use these bigger pieces of equipment. Right now I'm spraying with 100-foot booms, spraying a chemical that will do the same thing as what you could do with a hoe, but we just can't physically, the amount of labor it would take would be just astronomical to control the weeds in this amount of acres. So we want a healthy product just like a consumer does in a garden. So we got to take care of those weeds so they don't take the nutrients and the water that we're putting out for our crops. So we have to take care of that. So that's why we apply these chemicals. And there are farmers that conventionally till, which is run a big sweep machine through their ground. There's nothing wrong with that. We've done it for years. In fact, for almost a century, we stirred the dirt, is what we like to call it. And it's one of my all-time favorite smells is work ground. I love that smell, just that fresh, earthy smell. Kind of one of those childhood memories that you always think of when you're thinking about farming and working the ground. That's one of those memories that just triggers that. And so just the amount of scale it takes. And we love, as farmers, we love those people that are starting to garden and be able to do those things. And producing locally grown food, that's great. But on a worldwide basis, our world population is supposed to double by 2050, and we already have part of our population that is food deprived or unstable food supplies, or even in the starving category. So as farmers and producers, we use a lot of those genetically modified corn varieties to boost our yields, to produce more bushels, and that's not something that's Frankenstein lab done. It's really just plant breeding at its finest, and finding those plants that are resistant to say a Roundup chemical or another kind of chemical, and splicing that gene into more plants and producing those at a larger scale, so we can use them on a 100 or 200 acre field. So we're always looking at ways to be more efficient with our chemicals, with our time, with our money, and using those genetically modified, genetically engineered crops is a great way for us to further boost production, and here try to eliminate some of that food supply pressure that we see in the world now and what we're going to see in the future.